Hi everybody. I am so sorry that I am late. Um, I deeply apologize for that. So welcome to the live on. Just hoping this is working. Just in case that wasn't. Hi everybody. I'm Anna Newman. I'm so sorry that I am late. I deeply apologize for that. Um, yeah, I'm getting a little bit forgetful in my old age, getting lost in the moment. But I'm here. So, welcome to the live about how to create money inside yourself. It's a really exciting and awesome topic. Um, yeah, I've been doing money mindset work for a couple of years now, because I was really struggling with my finances. And so I started exploring this area, and yeah, like I'm in a really good position now financially. So I want to talk to you about this. So there's a few things that you need to understand, which may be a little bit challenging to your mindset. Because most people we've been programmed into a certain mindset around money, for our whole lives from a really, really young age that just keeps you stuck on a level. Um, so that, it's basically if you're, 30 to 40, it's sort of like, get a good education and get a good job and, maybe train for a trade or something, save up, buy a house, get some assets, all this. And there's nothing particularly wrong with that except for the fact it's incredibly narrow. Um, but the people that, really get into wealth and stuff, they have kind of a different mindset. And it's actually more of a spiritual kind of mindset around money. So, yeah, there's a few spiritual concepts that you need to kind of understand or embrace. So, firstly, everything on the outside of your external reality is a reflection of your internal reality. So this can be a bit of a confronting truth for people, like, oh, I didn't create that disaster, or it's not my fault or anything. But if you want to get to a really, really high level in life, if you want to be epically wealthy and have, like an incredible experience here, you've got to start taking responsibility for every single thing that happens. You know, in your relationships and in your financial life. And but once you start taking that responsibility, then you have more power. So with great power comes great responsibility. With great responsibility comes great power. It's that famous quote. But anyway, I need to try and simplify things. So the world, your world is your mirror. So if you're not financially abundant, then there's something getting in the way for you. Because money is related to life force and trust. So that's why money is related to life force. So that's why when you're depressed, you struggle more with your finances. But then, and because I've worked as a psychologist for a long time, I've seen this over and over again. So, when people are, they've got healing to do and they're depressed and things like that, they're generally not in a great place financially. But as they start to recover, they'll get, their dream job, or, often this happens a lot. They'll get their dream job or their business will pick up. A client of mine recently um, just got her dream job, and I'm just so bloody proud of her. But this is, what happens as you start, releasing, traumas and, stuff like that, and your life force increases. as in your energy, then money starts showing up. And also it's about trusting that these things are going to show up for you, because if you're constantly worrying about money, like how it's going to, are you going if how are you going to pay this bill, or are you going to have enough money for retirement, or blah 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 blah. That's all really negative, heavy energy around money. So you can only become lighthearted and positive around money when you release all that and you just trust that everything's going to be okay. But that's the thing, you've got to do that first. You've got to be able to trust that everything's going to be okay, even if you have zero in your bank account. Because you've got to get into the abundance mentality and the like positive mentality before it's going to show up. I'm going to give you some really practical tips on how you can start with that in a minute. But yeah, so like for me now, I used to, if my bank account was at zero or I had some credit card debt or whatever, I would be freaking out. I would be staying awake at night, worrying, oh shit, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay for this? Blah, blah, blah. Now, when the same thing happens, I just don't care, because I know that my money will regenerate. Um, it's something that ebbs and flows. It's like water. It needs to move. It ebbs and flows. So if my bank account's down a bit, it doesn't matter, because it's just going to go up again. So the other thing that I've been talking about a little bit is saving, and this is a bit of a controversial topic, but I really don't believe in saving. Like, I recently had this financial planner, and he was telling me save up, save up, save up money. Um, and I never could save up money. Then I realized I don't want to save up money, because I believe that money is supposed to move. It's supposed to go in, it's supposed to flow in and out all the time. And to me, savings is like a stagnant pond. It doesn't move, it sits there in case something bad happens. And that's not a good mentality to have around money. Like, that's a real kind of scarcity mentality to have around money, that, I'm going to keep this big pile of it over here just in case something bad happens, rather than, um, I can afford what I need and the universe will look after me. This is where it becomes more a spiritual thing. Like, it's not about relying on a specific person to look after you, it's relying on trusting in the universe, that the universe has your back. And it's the lack of trust in the universe that makes the money run away. So, the key thing you need to understand is you need to create abundance. This is where it comes into how to create money inside yourself. You need to create an environment of abundance. I'm going to sneeze. It's really annoying. Sorry, guys. I just got a new cat, and it's molting a lot because it's really hot here. And she won't let me brush her yet. She's anyway. So you need to create a wealthy and abundant environment inside your mindset and inside you, in your internal world, before it will show up in your outer reality. So if you're always worrying about paying the bills, or keeping money aside for something bad if in case something bad happens, then you are creating a poor scarcity mindset in environment inside yourself. So that is going to reflect in your reality. So how do you create? This is what, getting down to it, this is what this live is about. How do you create an abundant environment inside of yourself? So you do this by doing the things that light you up, doing the things that give you the life force, that give you deep joy and passion. That is how you create an abundant mindset. It doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time, which is a misinterpretation that a lot of people have, because we're not designed to be happy all the time. It's about being able to experience the full range of emotions freely. So, happy, angry, sad, all those things, which are separate to depression and anxiety. So, depression and anxiety are money blockers. Normal emotions, and I'm hesitant to use the word normal, but it's for sake of brevity. Um, Normal emotions will not block your manifestation. So depression and anxiety are present when you're not feeling your emotions. So they're stuck. It's stuck energy basically. And if you've got stuck energy within you, then that is going to reflect in your financial life. So what we want is to have things flowing all the time. So we want your emotions flowing freely. That doesn't necessarily mean express every single emotion, the minute that you feel it, but within a reasonable time frame, you need to give it an outlet. Otherwise, it's going to get turned into stuck energy, and then your finances are going to be blocked. So this work does require some trust in some principles which may possibly be quite unusual for you to hear, but I mean, you're here because you obviously want to know more about how to improve your finances, which means that you haven't nailed it yet. Oh gosh, thought I was freezing there for a minute. I look like I'm freezing. I don't like that. Okay, so what you need to do is be able to healthily experience all your emotions. Cry it out if you need to cry it out. If you got stuck traumas or you're repressing stuff or you're denying stuff, um, then that's going to affect your finances. So we're aiming for flow, flowing emotions, flowing money. Um, Sometimes the stuckness can be quite deep, and that is why you may want to hire me to help you to release some of that. Because if you're kind of feeling like, oh, everything's fine in my life except for my money situation, it's likely because you have something unconscious that is blocking you that you're not aware of. And that's what I'm skilled at doing, is to help you find that and let it go. Because once you let it go, then your money situation improves. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything that I have not said. Okay. Yep. So the takeaway is to start finding that stuff that juices you up, like those things that just light you up, just make you so happy. Everybody's got that. We often lose connection with it during adulthood, because we feel like we've got to be responsible and we've got to, do all these chores and all the time. We don't have time for that. Well, that's just an excuse. You need to make time for it. Um, and I used to be the same. I would spend all my time doing all this paperwork because I feel like that was what I had to do. And then there was no time to actually do what I wanted to do. And the fallout was that I was just in a bad mood. Because I wasn't filling up my own cup with what I needed. So now I interweave my chores or paperwork or whatever, I interweave that in with my joy activities. So I may do my joy activities like art and craft. So I may do a bit of art and craft in the morning, and then when I have a break, I might do a bit of paperwork. Um, so I'm keeping my tank full. Well, yeah, so find your joy activity and start doing it. It sounds simple, it may not be easy, depending how disconnected you are from it. Um, Start to imagine yourself as a wealthy person. Start to do some things that are within your access that the wealthy you would do. So, can you go to a really fancy cafe and have a really expensive drink? You know, something like that. That's also saying to the universe, you're worth it. So, yeah, it's just about creating an environment of wealth and abundance within yourself. And that is about getting rid of those scarcity beliefs, letting your emotions flow through you, and accessing your life force. Because, there's a lot of people and they're just really world weary. Like they get to a certain age and you can see they're just carrying this huge, heavy burden of responsibilities and everything. And look, it just doesn't have to be that way. It's because they're not letting things out. And it's just building up and it's layering up, and they just come across as having a really bad vibe, and no one wants to be around them. And when you're the opposite, when you're leading this really kick-ass passionate life, you're an inspiration to people. They want to be around you, and literally they want to fucking give you things. And the stuff that they give you, that's actually a gift from God. Like it's coming from a higher force, or these gifts, because you're enjoying the gift of life. I don't know who's jumped on, but I'm about to finish. But I am going to just do a watch party now straight away, so we can rewatch this together, which will be fun. So yeah, if you want to do some one-on-one work with me, if you're feeling like you've listened to everything I've said, you feel like it really resonates with you, but you just can't quite get where you want to be, then I can help you kind of figure out why that's happening, um, and dig out that money blocker for you so that you can start living the kick ass abundant life that you've always dreamed of. Who doesn't want that? Everyone.